because the golden light is outside of polarity, it's a balanced state of being. The beings in the Christed energy really understand how to utilise the two powers, the two energies, what we refer to as the dark and the light, to achieve what one needs to achieve in a very balanced and respectful manner to all life. So it's just another word, so we can write that there for the golden light. Okay? Now this universe that I've drawn here is basically what we call God. That's what the religions refer to as a supreme being. Everything that exists has a certain level of consciousness. Right down to this texture has a certain level of consciousness, otherwise it would not exist. There needs to be intent to come in to arrange all what we refer to, I'll get into later, the Platonic Solids, in the correct manner for this to exist and hold the form. A tree, for example, birds, animals, they all have consciousness. It's all different levels of consciousness. They are all living creatures. This planet is a living being. Therefore our universe is a living being. And that's what we refer to as God, the Supreme Being. And we are all inside of that and all part of that. And God even has a name. And people think, well, how can you? God is meant to be nameless, formless, genderless, all of those aspects and all those attributes. God refers to us as a name because it sees itself as a being. Yes, ultimately it is genderless, but it likes to communicate with you on your level so you can refer to it as a friend. So you're not separate, or don't have a formal relationship where things become sterile between you and the Supreme Being. The whole idea is to treat God as a friend and to work with God as one and to look at each other as equal. God does not want people to get down on their knees and beg for mercy like a slave. That's not what it's about. Not at all. Okay? God is all about working on the level with you, understanding who you are. You work together so you can grow and work together as friendship. That's what it's about. So the name God likes to be referred to, if you are to give God a name and begin that friendship, is magenta. Okay? It also refers to a colour which is similar to this kind of colour here, and hence I'm using that pen. And it's basically the external frequency, also known and referred to as the violet light. I know magenta is slightly different to violet in colour, okay? But the ultimate frequency you can use is the violet light, or the violet flame. Very powerful energy. It's really important that you come to terms with understanding what you're actually doing when you start utilising light energy. It's very powerful. And use it with the utmost respect is what I think is very important that we do that. The Christ part of God is really the creative personality. It's like the part of you that likes to listen to music. The part of you that likes music or likes pasta or going to the movies, or your little idiosyncrasies that distinguishes you apart from everybody else. It's the creative personality of the universe. When you embrace those energies, you then become more creative yourself and are able to manifest things far more better yourself. And that's the aspect of God that we're talking about here. It's also referred to as a council. You can take this reality and you can break it up. This universe, I know it's not the right number there, but just for visual purposes, there's 12-dimensional levels that exist in the universe. Okay? And I'm not talking about just this one flat universe, I'm talking about the entire universe now, with all its dimensional levels. It's broken up, it's like music, but it's broken up into 12 main octaves. Okay? That's what I refer to as 12-dimensional levels, 5th dimension, 6th dimension. You hear that thrown around a fair bit. where we occupy or were occupying prior to about 1972 or 1992, depending on which way you want to look at it, we were here in what's referred to the third dimension. Okay, that's where our planet was. We're currently going through the fourth at the moment. This is where we are right now, and we're heading towards the fifth. Okay, maybe if I draw another one in there. Well, this is basically where we're at. So our frequency signature on this reality, on this planet, is currently changing rapidly because it's not like someone's picking us up and pulling the planet up through these dimensions. In a sense it is, but physically it's not. What it means is the energy coming in from the sun is altering the spin, the rate of the spin of not only the planetary body around the sun, but also the way the atoms spin around the nucleus is increasing. And therefore that's how we're increasing our dimensional reality as well. And that's the way it works. The reason I drew this band is because being Christed energy, the golden light, being the energy of balance, it is kind of like a governing body in a sense. And what God has done has broken itself up into 9 components and also is called and refers to itself as the Council of 9. Let's say you go to the 12th dimension, for example. The Council of 9 in the 12th dimension are 9 beings which are an extension. You get the main body of Christ, and it's broken itself up into 9 different components. And it's like us as beings have different egos, for example. We have different egos that make up the whole of the expression of the being. So does God. God has broken itself up into different components, and each being from 1 to 9 performs a different function or represents a different function. One might carry wisdom, and the other one might be the expression of learning how to function with authority, and the other one might be the teaching of the sciences. And you know, it's all broken up, and each one has its own responsibility. And this Council of 9 exists on every dimensional spectrum, each one. The Council of 9 sits there, and it's flanked either side by 2 other councils, which I will get to in just a moment. And so, for example, here you've got 9 beings. Here you've got another 9 beings. While these ones are here down in this dimensional level, these ones still exist, but these are a lower aspect. This picture here probably describes it pretty well. This is the picture of the I Am presence and brought to us by Saint Germain. And then you have the higher part of your aspect of your being, your God presence. And then you have an intermediate part of your being, and then you have a lower part of your being. It's all one being at the end of the day, but we have different components, and you have the same setup as well individually. Okay? So when I speak of the Council existing in every frequency spectrum, yes, they're all one, but they're different components, that's all. It's just broken down. So you've got each being is specialising in each different frequency spectrum, because if you're only one entity, then you can't be here and there at the same time. You've got to break yourself up into 2 or 3 or 4 so you can occupy those different frequencies at the same time and function properly and effectively. Okay? Over here we have, on this, what we used to call in the dark, there was a being that's incorporated this side of polarity called Lucifer. And that's just the Western expression of that name. All cultures, other cultures use different names, so it's not about a religious thing here. I'm just using terms that we are all familiar with. Lucifer is also known as the Great Dark Brotherhood. And is also known as the Council of 7. I'll put a number there this time. All these names refer to the being you know as Lucifer.